Hi everybody, this is Steve Sabludowsky and I'm publisher of BuyUBuzz.com. And today we're going to be talking, at least I'm going to be giving my opinion, so this is a commentary about the presidential election and particularly in relationship to uh, new records that have come out. Basically, um, I believe that there is now, more so than ever before, a really compelling reason for Donald Trump to release his income tax records before the upcoming election and as soon as possible, actually. On Friday, the Washington Post provided an update to the Donald Trump political contribution to the Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi story, and the article provided evidence that Donald Trump had paid a $2,500 penalty in relationship to that contribution. So there's very strong reason to believe that Trump and Bondi were involved in a pay-to-play scheme in which Trump was trying to hide from the IRS his political donation to Bondi. Let me repeat that Trump was trying to hide his political donation to Bondi, the Attorney General for the state of Florida. So as we know, Donald Trump has refused to make his income tax uh, records available. And let's look at what he has told us. He said if he were to run for president, he would make the records available. Then during the primary debates, what happened was he crawfished out of that, and he said that, well, when they're ready, I will release them. Then he crawfished again, and he said that his attorneys won't allow him to release it. And then, of course, he crawfished out of that again. And, this time, what he said was that, um, he's not going to release it until after the audit is finished. Well, basically the IRS really poo-pooed that and said, no, in general, there's no reason that a person cannot release his tax records during an audit. Not that anybody, certainly I didn't believe Trump. I don't think anybody believed Trump except for maybe those people who want to believe Trump. But nevertheless, that's in essence what he said. So basically, what happened was Trump made this $25,000 contribution to Bondi shortly after she announced that she was going to be making an investigation of the Trump University. New York had already announced that it was looking at the Trump University situation. Bondi, a Republican, likewise said that. Then days later, uh, Donald Trump made a contribution, but he didn't make it out of his own pocket now. Again, he did not make this contribution out of his own pocket. What he did instead was he had his uh, his organization, Trump Foundation, to make the contribution to the Bondi Foundation, which was uh, basically an organization that was in support of Pam Bondi. And so days after that, and maybe even the next day, I don't recall, but nevertheless, within a very short period of time, guess what happens? Yes, you're right. Pam Bondi decides that there will be no investigation. So what you have is you have Bondi announcing that, or an announcement from her office that there will be an investigation, that Florida would be investigating Trump University, a Trump contribution to her organization, which is called And Justice for All, and then a check going to And Justice for All. Then after that, there is the decision for that there will not be any kind of investigation. Now, it may not be, it may not have been that much of an issue, but the problem is that the Trump Foundation is not allowed, it's prohibited to make any type of political contribution. And nevertheless, it did. So instead of this contribution being made by Donald Trump personally, it was made by the Trump Foundation, which was not supposed to make contributions. So therefore, that record of declaring whether or not they made a political contribution or not was checked no. And so it was sent on to the IRS. They did mention that they made a contribution to Justice for All, an organization out of Kansas, but the money went to apparently this organization in Florida, Pam Bondi. So things got a little hairy when IRS began to question the unlawful nature of the $25,000 contribution coming from the Trump Foundation. And this year, after it began to shake out and more information about Trump University and so on, Trump then paid a $2,500 penalty for that particular transaction, and he personally reimbursed to the foundation $25,000. Now that's the $25,000 that the Trump Foundation, again, which is prohibited to give to a political campaign, had given to the campaign, and so Trump now has paid a $2,500 penalty, and then again $25,000 as of right now, as I understand it. The Pam Bondi organization has not paid back the foundation or Donald Trump for that matter, since she never should have gotten the money. If he wants to give her money, then it's supposed to be direct. So Trump is saying there's no hanky-panky. He says that Bondi is an impeccable has an impeccable reputation as an attorney general in Florida. Keep in mind, she did speak at the convention, and he says that he never talked to Bondi. However, there's evidence actually somebody who worked for Bondi said that there was a conversation. Regardless, he says that, and here's the kicker, quite frankly, he says that, and I know you've heard it, he says that in the past, when he contributes, he expects something in return. When he contributes to a political candidate, a campaign, he expects something in return. He said that during the debate. He said, he said that the system is corrupt. So his contributions in terms of wanting something in return, he says is corrupt, but he says, hire me because I'll fix it. Okay, right, exactly. But nevertheless, look at what he said. He says that's why he gives these contributions. So Trump has made numerous demands that Hillary Clinton release information, and he has accused her of being involved in a pay-per-play. Remember, you've heard that, pay-per-play with the Clinton Foundation. Now, let me just say this. I don't know if there's a pay-per-play from the Clinton Foundation standpoint. What I can tell you this, I think that all records, without doubt, all records, any emails, any records that may indicate that Hillary Clinton was knowledgeable about any kind of pay-per-play, any records that would indicate that the Clinton Foundation had an even more cozy relationship with the State Department, all that information should come out. I think that that's something that the public has a right to know about. And look, we have a reason to believe, based on the information that we have already, we have a reason to believe that the Clinton Foundation had a very cozy relationship with the U.S. State Department. Um, so under Hillary Clinton, that is. However, keep in mind, there is no smoking gun at all that implicates Hillary Clinton. And there's no information showing that the Secretary of State's office under her followed up with any specific requests. It doesn't mean that they won't be able to prove it. I certainly hope that all those records are available. And so by the time we do vote on election day, for those who wait until that time, hopefully we are able to actually see all the information on the Clinton Foundation, the emails, whatever it may be. But in this case, it is Trump who is involved. The man who's yelling about pay per play and talking about being transparent. Well, Trump has the audacity to accuse others while hiding behind his own questionable transactions. His organization is now claiming, oh, it's a coincidence, it's sloppy accounts payable, we didn't mean to do it, it's not exactly the way things were supposed to be done, it's a coincidence. Well, that's what they're saying basically about the Clinton Foundation and the Secretary of State's office. And it's just all of it, in my mind, is a crock. Okay, the thing is, again, he had a reason. He had a reason to hide the contribution and the source of the contribution that he made to Bondi, so that it would not appear that it came from Donald Trump, that it would appear that it came from some other organization. That would make it very, a whole lot more difficult, especially if you declare that there has not been any campaign contribution from the Trump Foundation. So the Trump supporters, if you out there really want transparency, and that's what you say, that you want transparency in government, then let me just strongly recommend that you continue to insist that Clinton reveal all of her related records, but you need to, without doubt, in order to be consistent, and in my mind, in order not to be hypocritical, you need to insist that Donald Trump release those records, his tax records also. Otherwise, he doesn't have any standing at all to complain, and nor do you have any standing to complain about Hillary Clinton. What is good for the gander, meaning Hillary Clinton, is good for the goose, Donald Trump. The elections are very important, and our individual credibility is very important, as well as our collective credibility. There are many unanswered questions about his tax records. Let me just name a few about his tax records, if I might. Number one, there was a court record in early 1980s, 84, I believe, where he didn't pay any income tax at all. His accountant, who had handled tax records for I think 20 years, testified that was his signature, but he didn't prepare the record. That's number one. Number two is you have a situation where Donald Trump campaign is basically funding his kids and funding himself in terms of the campaign. That's really an issue where it becomes a self-funding experience, especially given that it's supposed to be a person who is self-funding the campaign, except of course, when he runs the general election, but he made it known that he was going to not be beholden to anybody. And there's another situation, of course, in terms of his a golf course, where he declared the golf course for the federal election uh, um, uh, committee, FEC, uh, for over $60,000, I believe, but the local property tax was, I think, $60 million, but local property tax, I think, was like $1.6 million. And he ended up upping the amount to $10 million, which he apparently agreed to pay. You know, this is really serious. We know at this point in time that Hillary Clinton needs and Bill Clinton need to divest themselves from their foundation. That's a given. They can't have anything to do if indeed they expect to have any kind of credibility at all as a president, as an administration. But we have another situation here. We have a situation where Donald Trump basically has properties all over the world. He's complained about Saudi Arabia government giving the Clinton Foundation money, but you know he's got properties in Saudi Arabia. He's had the Saudi Arabians, actually buying part of a floor on one of his buildings. He has relationships with Russia that we don't know anything about at this point in time. What we do know is that he says he has no relationship, but his son has actually bragged about those relationships, and he has bragged also about communicating with Putin, but then he says he didn't have any conversations with Putin. So, I mean, that's all over the board, just like his immigration policy is at this point in time. So what's he going to do? What's he going to do should he become president? Is he going to be funding his kids like he's doing right now with his political campaign? Um, these are things that are really, really serious. And just like it is wrong for the Clintons to be funding anything, even a not-for-profit, it is absolutely wrong, unquestionably wrong, for the Trump campaign to even come close to that. So if we demand ethics in our politics, we if we demand ethics in our politics, then how can we possibly demand it if we don't demand it in our government? Thank you very much for paying attention, and hopefully this has been helpful. And sure, go ahead and give your opinion. And I'd like to hear. You can go to valuebuzz.com for any further information. And I'd like to again thank you for appearing, attending, and go to valuebuzz.com. And if you would like the video, share it with others, and thank you so much.